Well, hello. How are we doing today? Hopefully, you can all hear me. Everything appears to be working. I have run boatloads of tests since the unpleasantness last time. So hopefully, it's all looking good and everything is working. So you should have 1080 to look at. It should not be whatever it was, like 460p or something last time. So you should be able to see 1080p, hopefully. But let me know what the quality is like. Yeah, I got a new microphone. The other one was just broken. So finally, after 10 years, that microphone didn't do well. So, but yeah, so quality should be good for everybody to see. Just taking a look at the chat right now. Hit me with your questions, please do. I will say also, please, if you can, reminder to hit the like button. I know it's annoying when YouTubers ask you to like and subscribe and all that, but it does go a long way to help the channel. It's how YouTube decides whether the video is going to be seen by more people or not. So also really want to, promote the channel to more people and grow the channel. So please go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already. Would really appreciate it. Hit me with your questions. Today's live stream is all about some remote editing. So if you've noticed, I'm at home, right? But the 12 Hours of Sebring event is ongoing. So I am not in Sebring. So I'll start with the elephant in the room of, Mark, why aren't you in Sebring? Well, I posted a little bit about this on social media. And the reason that I'm not in Sebring is because, first off, the WEC's prologue was supposed to be this weekend in Qatar. And I was planning on going to that and having Jared and Brad cover the 12 Hours of Sebring for me, which sucks because I enjoy that event. It is one of the worst events logistically to cover. It's probably like if they launched that event into the sun, I wouldn't be super upset as someone who has to cover it. I would be really upset for all the fans that go to it. But it can be an absolute nightmare to cover it. But I've been at every single one since 2019. I even went to the two that were during COVID. So it does suck to not be there, but I was going to go to the prologue in Qatar. And now naturally, as you're all, I'm sure, aware, there is a World War III going on in the Middle East. So Qatar is canceled. Funnily enough, I actually haven't received any official communication from the WEC to we haven't heard from the press delegate that emails us about all kinds of different things in terms of logistics. They haven't communicated to us that it's canceled. So we're basically just going off what our teams have told us and what's in the news. So it's just kind of funny that they haven't sent us an email, be like, hey, by the way, it's in Imola now. But obviously I've seen the news and my clients have been very good about updating me. So that's why I'm not in Sebring. I was supposed to go to the prologue, and you say, well, Mark, why don't you just go to the prologue or go to Sebring anyway? Well, I thought about it. But I'd already hired people to cover it, and Jared and Brad were both amazing, and I decided to just stay home because why would I go? And also the flights were crazy expensive because it's also the week of spring break. So booking a flight late, it would have cost me $1,600 Canadian, so 1,200 euros, 1,200 USD to go. And I was like, I'm just not interested in doing that. So I decided to stay home, and I'm actually going to help the guys out by doing some remote editing. So that's what I'm going to be showing you guys today. I don't have actually that much to show you yet, but we'll just kind of make it more of a Q&A. But yeah, just doing remote editing for the guys. And then I'll show you kind of how the logistics of that work and answer your questions and whatever else. But yeah, that's why I'm not at Sebring. So didn't really feel like going. And it's a good thing I didn't go because right now Nicole and I are in the process of buying a house, and that's all blown up this week. So I'm really glad that I'm here, because we just got our mortgage approval today and we're getting the house. The offer was accepted on Monday, so we're getting the house, and we've had so much paperwork to do. I had to go to a home inspection yesterday, which was a really fun and really emasculating experience to walk around a house with a super handy dude explaining to you what's going on with the home. So that was really cool. So I'll kind of go back through the chat now and answer your questions. I'm done yakking. Hey, Mark, bummer about the Airbnb. Yeah, so the thing with the Airbnb is, unfortunately, in the United States, a lot of Airbnb hosts are just scumbags. In Canada as well. But unfortunately, that market in the United States and Canada has attracted the worst kind of people that just want to, they're like the passive income bros that just want to make money off owning properties. And they're the worst people to have as your host. And basically what happened is I told the guys on our call on Sunday, I said, hey, we have an Airbnb booked for Tuesday. I've had it booked for over a year. I booked this a week ago last year. And I said, what's going to happen is they're probably going to cancel on us Monday or Tuesday. Lo and behold, the day of the check-in, Tuesday morning, the Airbnb host sent me a message and said, you can't stay in the house anymore because the AC is broken. I immediately called their bluff and said, hey, I don't care. It's cold in Florida right now. It's unseasonably cold. I said, we'll stay in the house without AC. And they said, no, you can't. There's workers here. And I said, well, we're not going to arrive for another 10 hours. And they said, well, it could be multiple days to fix it. That's a lie. There's unless there's some like ridiculous, catastrophic problem with the AC, there's no way that it's broken. They're lying. They rented it out probably privately or on another platform. They then said, well, you can stay at this other house we own that's unoccupied. And they just sent me pictures of it. It's not listed anywhere. Couldn't find it online. So I called Airbnb. I said, is this okay? And they said, if you agree to it, it's fine. And I was like, okay. So the guys are staying in that house. There was no internet for the first day and a half. They finally got that sorted. When they showed up, the modem had an LCD screen, and it said the bill hadn't been paid, and that's why they had no Wi-Fi. So I texted the owner and I said, hey, the Wi-Fi's not working because you haven't paid the bill. So she's like, oh, I just paid it. It should work. Text her in the morning. Hey, it's still not working. And she sent me what looked like a cut and paste that was just like, there has been issues in the area due to high winds. And I looked at the weather. There hasn't been high winds in that area for over a week. So that's a lie. It's just scummy people that own these Airbnbs. I'm giving them a 1-star review regardless. So I find that Airbnb on the European continent is usually good. I've had so many amazing hosts, but in the US and in Canada, it's just like, I still have mostly good experiences, probably 95% good experiences, but a lot of them are garbage. A lot of them are a property management company owned by 4 passive income bros, and all the houses are shit and they don't get cleaned properly. So yeah, just beware if you're going to book Airbnb. Sebring is the worst event to book travel for. It just sucks. All right, what do we got? For the first time, I'm shooting an off-road motorcycle track. Oh, I've never done that before. It looks really cool. All I have is a 20 to 60. What's the best lens to have for these kind of things? I think depending how close you're going to get, you're probably going to want something a little bit longer. So if you have a chance to, I always like to say renting is always a really good idea. Like renting is actually surprisingly cheap. Like where I live, I can go to VizTech and rent a 7200 for the weekend for $30. Right? So renting is usually a pretty good option if you have the opportunity to, but I don't know how close are you able to get, right? Can you crop in and post? Are you using a crop sensor camera? Because that'll kind of extend your reach a little bit. But yeah, you can always look into renting, right? I obviously don't know the track you're going to or how close you're allowed to be, so I can't give you perfect advice. Magnus, the new bike is amazing. I have not been able to ride it outside yet. The annoying thing is I've scheduled this live stream, and right now it has cleared up. All the snow has melted and the roads have dried, and it's 9 degrees outside with a little bit of wind. I could be riding my bike outside right now, but I'm here to do this live stream for you guys, okay? So I'm giving up bike riding time to hang out with you guys. I could ride my bike after, but the thing is, where I live, I don't like to ride my bike between 7:30 and 9:30 in the morning and 4 and 6 p.m. because there's too many cars on the road. So it's pretty dangerous where I live to ride a bike on the road. So you got to really pick and choose what times a day you go. So normally if I'm home, I'll ride at like 10 a.m. until like 3. So what's next? I have a question about car tracking. When you focus, firstly, is it autofocus or manual? And if it's auto, do you click once to focus and track it continually? So I actually never use any sort of like clickable tracking focus. Well, that's not true. I'll use it like if I'm walking behind someone with a gimbal and I want it to track them, or for car to car shoots. Like if I'm hanging out the back of a van, I will point at what I want it to focus on. Usually just like the hood of the car, the bonnet, if you're British. And then it'll just stay focused and I can trust it because like I'm busy obviously during a car to car trying to not fall out of the back of the van and like adjust myself versus when the high banks at Daytona. It would be really cool to show you guys behind the scenes of that, but we're not allowed. So yeah. So I kind of just mostly rely on just like the square box in the middle of the screen that you can move around the focus point. Like that's what's focusing me right now is the box is just on my face, and then I can move it around the camera. So I'll tend to just use that to do my autofocus. Hello from France. Bonjour. J'apprends le français maintenant, mais c'est très difficile parce que je n'ai pas quelqu'un de parler. So I'm learning French right now, but it's quite difficult because I don't have anyone to talk French with. So, but it is going. I'm getting a lot better. My comprehension of French is so much better. Just my speaking is terrible. But yeah, I've got the complete French grammar guide right here. So, but I'm getting there. So I think by Le Mans I'll be doing okay. Hey Mark, if you were buying a MacBook today and keeping it for a couple of years, would you choose an M5 Pro or spend $1,500 more on the M5 Max? Okay, so I need to do my research on these. I'm gonna probably get a new laptop in the fall, so I have to figure out what the best option is. I'm still using an M1 Pro, and it's fantastic. It's running Premiere Pro 2026, and it works great. So I need to kind of do my research on that and figure out where we want to be in terms of either we M5 Pro. I'm going to fully spec it out and do a full custom build, and make it as fast as possible. Cause I tend to use them for 3 or 4 years and then I'll just buy a new one. That's what I would kind of look at. Good question for beginner. Would you recommend MacBook Air M4 or M5? So I don't know enough about the specs of those things. I'm not a super technical guy, so I can't really give you any advice on like which Air MacBook is better. It's kind of tough. I got to do my research first. I actually did rent a 24 to 105, got a Lumix S5 II, and I do get pretty close, but I feel like 60 millimeters is not really enough. Yeah, so I would look at renting something a little bit longer then. I can talk French with you. Yeah, I'm working on it. What do you think of Nikon ZR? No idea. I've never seen it, never used it, so I can't give you my advice. I feel like I plan on doing a few more videos talking about some of my camera gear. Like I want to do a review of the Sigma 28 to 105 because I do think it's kind of the ultimate lens for what I do. But I feel like the more I do that, I'm getting a lot more DMs from people asking me about camera specifics and like camera specs and gear. And like, I just don't know that much. And I don't know if I want my channel to kind of become a gear channel. So I'm more of like obviously a motorsport guy. So, but let's we got a little lull in the comments. So let's talk a little bit about, remote editing and how that works. So basically what that means is that I'm acting remotely as an editor for the guys in the field. So they're still producing a lot of stuff there. I'm really only doing 2 projects for them. I'm doing an edit tomorrow that is like this Ford off-road experience edit. So there's an off-road experience set up across Carroll Shelby Boulevard in Sebring. That is like their Raptor and Bronco off-road experience that people can go check out. And tomorrow the AMR safety team, which is like IMSA's traveling, like absolutely lights out, incredible safety team, they are going to visit that and do the off-road experience, because actually Ford supplied new trucks to the AMR safety team, and they're Raptors. They're sick. They're F-150 Raptors. So you can actually see a great shot of them on the Ford Racing Instagram that Jared and Brad did yesterday from the photo shoot. So they're really cool trucks. And the AMR safety team is going to visit that and do the experience. So I have to make a little video from that. So they're going to send me the footage from that. And then I'm going to edit that for them. And then I'm also editing the overall Ford Racing recap of the weekend. So they've already sent me some interviews, and then I have picked out some music and stuff, and I'm going to work on that recap throughout the weekend. I'm also going to enjoy my time at home. It's not due until Wednesday next week, but I'm going to try and get it done as quickly as possible. Race obviously being on Saturday, but on Saturday I plan on hanging out at home. I'm going to watch Milan San Remo, which is like one of the biggest cycling races of the year, in the morning, and then I'm gonna go ride my bike in the afternoon, and then probably edit into the evening. So yeah, but that's basically what I'm doing, sort of this offsite editing. So basically the way it works is the guys will send me footage. So I'm going to share my screen with you now. So I'm not going to see the chat for a moment. So forgive me if I don't get to you guys right away. So this is my editing setup here. So this is Premiere Pro 2026. I've got a project set up. and ready to go in here. So right now I have this sequence called Sebring Scenics. And if I play this for you guys, I'm just going to turn the volume way down. This is just like scenics that we shot at Sebring over the last 2 or 3 years that are really timeless and can be used at any point. So I said to the guys, to make your lives easier, would it be good for me to cut some of these up and send them to you? And they said, yeah, that'd be amazing, because then we don't have to shoot the track walk. We don't have to worry about that, because we can just use what we shot the last couple of years, right? Like, this is a great probe lens shot that Brent did. Like, this is a full on like probe lens going into a crack on the track. Like, that's incredible. So you've got just these scenics to use. So I cut these into sequences that we call melts. We tend to call it because you're melting the footage down. And this is stuff from 2024, 2025. It's all very usable, right? We can continue this. Kip Sebring right there. Look, it's Kip Sebring. If you don't know who Kip Sebring is, look him up. K-I-P Sebring. So we've got all kinds of footage here that I can use, that I don't need them to shoot. We can already reuse it from the last few years. And this is pretty common for us to do. I have a Dropbox with footage from multiple racetracks and scenic areas around the tracks all set up, so we don't have to shoot it every year. I always try and get some new stuff every year, but sometimes we just don't have the time to do it. So I have these scenics here, and then basically what I'm going to do now is create a new sequence. So I've got a new sequence right here, and let me see, that's still working there. Perfect. All right, perfect. So new sequence here. So I'm going to do 4K UHD 24 frames per second, which is like a custom thing I set up. It's just like standard Ultra HD 24 frames per second, or 23.9676, because they're in the US, obviously. So let me type in, we'll call this Sebring 2026, Sebring Ford Racing Recap. So now I have a new sequence. You can see I've got a nice program window here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this music track here. Now here's the thing, folks. This may negatively affect the live stream. I cannot play this music for you because this music is not licensed for my YouTube channel. And because we are live streaming, that could pull the live stream down in the middle of the stream. So we are not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So unfortunately, I cannot play the music for you. However, I will say, if I open up, we have Ford Racing 2026 in musicbed.com. So, if you've watched my channel, you know that I'm an affiliate of audio.com, but for Ford, we use MusicBed. I will openly say that MusicBed is the best music licensing service on earth. It is unreal. It has the best music. It is crazy good. However, it is incredibly expensive, like to the point where we are paying like thousands of dollars a year to be able to use 50 songs a year for Ford. Okay. Because if they do custom licenses based on client size. So for them, because they're a massive company, they have to pay more, right? Now you can get a more affordable license for like companies that are under 50 employees or under 1 million subscribers. So if you're working for like a driver or like a smaller race team, it can definitely be worth it. But it is still, like, I would say, compared to, I don't even want to say Artlist, because like Artlist can go to hell. That's a terrible service now. It's just all AI. It's gross. It used to be affordable. Now they're charging like $500 US a year and get more AI credits. They're people hawking Artlist can just get off my feed. But like compared to a service like that or Epidemic Sound or Audio, like it's 4 or 5 times the money, but it's so good. Like the music is incredible and you just don't hear it as much in public. You hear Artlist everywhere. So, but audio.com is a great option because they also sell a lifetime membership. So you can literally pay once forever. So they're still a good option though. And they have some AI stuff now. They have AI voices and like whatnot, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I actually think that I'll pull it up actually. I actually think their link match AI system is incredible. I was using this the other day. So if I pull up Spotify, And yeah, I was listening to Fool's Gold by the Stone Roses. Okay. So if I go to share, copy link, and I just literally go to link match AI and I paste that in and go search, it's going to give me songs that sound like that song. It's pretty incredible. It's actually an amazing service. So that's AI I can get on board with. But yeah, so that's audio.com. But we'll go back to Ford Racing. So I've downloaded our song here. It's called About to Get Wild. I have not licensed it yet, but I have just downloaded it for use. It's 2 minutes, 20 seconds long. So I might end up needing a second song, or I might just end up extending it. So I'll drag it into the timeline. We've got the song there. We can take a look at it. One of the cool things in Premiere is that it does have the remix tool. So if you go to your remix tool, you can actually just extend a song, and it's going to use AI basically to examine this song and remix it and make it longer. So now the song is 3 minutes and 45 seconds long. So you used to have to do that manually, right? You don't have to do that anymore. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not as good, but it's still a fairly decent process. So earlier today, the guys sent me, if I go in here to footage, I'll start moving things around, go interviews. I'll go to my downloads. They did send me Ben's interview and Jensen's interview, and I'll just drag those into footage. You always want to be working off of your local like server. Like, don't work out of your downloads folder, right? Put everything in one spot. So I can show you how my server is actually laid out. So I've got my server here, and I've got 2026. So this is actually a network attached storage. It's right over here. It's got like 128 terabytes of stuff. And if we open that up, we go to 2026 IMSA, Sebring. I've got my stuff here. I've got my music. I've got my footage. I've got exports. You know, I've got basically a folder for everything. The project file, all of that. Okay, so now I can drag in those interviews. Okay, so we've got, actually let's drag the whole thing. I'm waiting for one more interview. They're supposed to interview Chris Mees at one point if they have an option, if they have the opportunity to. So yeah, 128 terabytes and it's almost full. What else we got? What do you find the hardest part about producing video for a client? I don't know. Like, I think it's like picking the right music is obviously very difficult. And then the biggest thing is like when the client's like not a fan of the edit, sometimes. Now, the hardest part is when you're dealing with like an agency, for example. So a lot of stuff that we do comes through agencies. So like technically the stuff we do for Ford Racing globally comes through 2 agencies, Ignition in the UK and Campbell Communications in the US. And sometimes dealing with those agencies can be more tricky just because there's more people involved, right? There's more people giving feedback, and there's more like people that have different philosophies on how things should be. So it can kind of slow the review process down sometimes. So that's kind of annoying, but it's just something you have to deal with. Like, we recently did an F1 Academy project that went on for like ever. Like, it went on for a really long time, and I did so many versions of it. And then it was radio silence for a couple of months. And then just the other day, they asked if we could do a complete re-edit of it now. And we shot it 6 months ago. So we might have to do another edit of that now. So, which I'll be charging for, obviously, because it's a completely different project. But that's just kind of how it is. How do they send you the footage? You have a dedicated FTP. So they just sent it to me on Dropbox. So basically what they're going to do, so when I showed you I was making these melts for them, they're going to do the same thing for me. They're going to drop all their best stuff in a timeline, export it at a super high bit rate, and then I'll download it and edit with it. Now, we can get away with that because our stuff gets viewed on a phone. If this was obviously a feature film, we would not be doing that. But that's the only way that we can do it with the file sizes. The file sizes are insane, and the internet in Sebring is terrible. It's so bad. During the race, you won't even have cell service there. It's really bad. There'll be no cell service. Sorry, this might be my real estate agent texting me. Just going to make sure it's all good. Oh. I got to text Brad my login. So it is. He needs to actually go on our music thing right now and get music. So I have to give him my login. All right, here we go. This is live. This is real stuff happening right now, folks. Okay. Wait, they don't send you the footage in 4K. Yes, they send me the footage in 4K. It's still a 4K sequence. Do you think WEC will go to the UK again? Probably. We've heard rumors of it for a few years now. Hasn't happened yet, but we keep hearing rumors about going back to Silverstone. So maybe it'll happen. I don't know. I've never heard anything concrete. I've just heard rumors. How much do you charge, if I ask? That is a really good question. That's not something I'm going to discuss on YouTube because like it's a very difficult question to answer. I will say though, if it's something you really want to get involved in and learn more about, I do have a in-depth 3-hour-long workshop that I did with Drew Gibson called Paddock Focus. If you go to paddockfocus.com or just Google Paddock Focus, you can purchase that workshop. I think it's $90, but they go on sale all the time. You can probably get it for as low as $60 US. And then it's a 3-hour-long seminar. It's not a course. There's no promises. It's just me giving you all of my knowledge for 3 hours. And I talk in depth about pricing in that. So some stuff I have to gatekeep because I'm sorry, I am trying to make a little bit of money off that Paddock Focus thing. Although they paid me a flat rate. So yeah. Pretty sure Zach Brown said they are. I think we would have known more about it. I think we'd see more. We would have seen more news about that. But that'd be cool. But the thing is, do they extend the championship or do they cancel a race? Do they replace a race with Silverstone? Because that would be 4 races in Europe then. So 4 races in Europe. I feel like as an international championship, it is missing quite a bit. So right now we've got 2 races in the Middle East, 3 in Europe, 1 in Japan, 1 in Brazil, and 1 in the US. So you're missing Africa completely. You're missing Australia. You only have 1 in Asia, 2 in the Middle East is technically Asia, depending on where you went to school. And because like Eurasia is technically a continent, right? As is, I know in some European schools they teach that North and South America are the same continent called America because they're connected. So can't find your video on Paddock Focus. It's definitely on there. It's called Motorsport Videography. I can actually we'll just search it right now. It became available as of yesterday, I believe. Yeah, they have a 20% off sale right now if that's still working. Let's see. Search episodes now. Motorsport Videography right here. Learn more. Enroll now. There you go. And you can download it. It is $89 USD, but you can, I believe it's available for download. I will say though, if you do buy it, okay, the video quality of my shared screen is not great. So what I want you to do in that case is I want you to DM me on Instagram and I will send you a Dropbox link to a super high quality version. Okay. So do that. Okay. DM me and I will get you the super high quality version. They just can't upload it to that Teachable website, unfortunately. So I will make sure that you get a high quality version if you're going to spend your hard-earned money on that. Okay. So just hit me up and I will send it to you. You do need some races in South Africa. That would be dope. I'd like to go to Kyalami. I'd like to go to South Africa at some point. I've heard there's good cycling there, so that'd be fun. I know quite a few people that have gone there to go cycling, and I've got lots of friends there. Jordan Pepper, Calvin Vanderlinde, people I know from South Africa. So good folks, all of them. Played paddle with Jordan Pepper and his parents a couple years ago in Spa. They're good folks. So basically what we're going to do now is, as I said, I'm not going to play that music, but here I can turn my screen volume back on and we will now check out these interviews. So we've got this interview with Ben Barker and we will start pulling selects from this and start building out a narrative. So I'm actually just going to delete the song for now.
What's it like running around? Bloody bumpy. So yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic track, obviously historic. It's super characterful, very unique in the sense that obviously there's lots of bumps on an old airfield. So I love coming to this place, and it's actually I would say it's probably my favourite track on the IMSA calendar. I haven't done all of them yet, but it's up there for sure.
So the audio quality, hopefully you can hear that. I turned it up a little bit there. The audio quality is actually really good because we've been using this Adobe podcast program. Now, let me just get rid of that. This Adobe podcast program. So basically what it is, here, I can actually I can actually show you. I keep forgetting I can show you. Adobe Podcast. So basically, it's podcast.adobe.com, and you can do 4 hours of this a week. It's essentially a speech enhancer. This saved my life in Daytona when I had an interview that sounded horrible that I could not reshoot. I dropped it in this, and somehow it popped out amazing. It just enhances it. It removes background noise. It basically creates an AI version of that person's voice and rebuilds the interview. And it sounded unreal to the point where I was like, this has to be morally reprehensible. There's no way this can be like, okay. So it is really good. Are you looking forward to Max Verstappen at the Nürburgring 24? Okay, so controversially, as a fan of car racing, yes. However, as someone that has to work that event, I am absolutely dreading the idea of him being there, because that event is already insane to the point where you can barely get around in the paddock, and you're now not going to be able to move. It's going to have so many people at it that it's not going to be an enjoyable experience for those of us working it at all. Like, it's going to be insane, because, like, again, the thing I've noticed covering a lot of races in Europe is that the fandom there is just really different than it is where I live. So like, we have like people that get pretty serious about their fandom and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm sure you've seen like Taylor Swift fans and stuff like that, right? But like in Europe, it's very different. Like when I've gone to the signing sessions and like Valentino Rossi's there, like I've seen people getting his autograph, like crying. I saw him sign a child's shirt. Like they were handing the baby over and they were like FaceTiming and they were bawling their eyes out about how amazing it was. Like it's just very different. Like the hero worshiping is definitely, I think, just at a different level. Like maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I've experienced. So I feel like you see the videos of people like waiting outside F1 drivers' hotels and stuff like that. And there's like a crowd of people outside like Leclerc's hotel, which I personally think is insane. I don't like anything that much. Okay. Like I one time waited outside an event to get Noel Gallagher's autograph. Okay. He's the guitar player from Oasis and chief songwriter. But I like stood outside the venue where the bus was and just waited there. And then he came out and he signed stuff for like the 20 or 30 of us that were there. A few people were definitely weird, but I just like waited. I had the guitar. He signed the guitar. I said, got a photo, and then he left. Treated him like a regular person. That's the only time I've never gotten starstruck before. I've never like been blown away. It's just different. It's different. So I think that event is going to be really difficult to cover because of just the sheer amount of people that are going to be at it. So I think it's going to be tough. So yeah, you're going to have to work up the nerve to go there for sure. Just be ready to be sitting in traffic a lot and not be able to get anywhere because it's going to be really difficult. So let's get back to our interview with Mr. Ben Barker.
People say it's bumpy or whatever, but how does it actually feel in the car?
Bumpy. It shakes you around for sure. You know, you can really feel it through the steering mostly. It kind of kicks back quite a lot, particularly through turn one and the last corner, which are the higher speed corners around this track. So yeah, you've got to hang on a bit and just trust the car really, and trust the tyre. But yeah, it's a fantastic place.
Considering the track surface and
I love how the AI like podcast thing has made Jared's voice sound super high. It sounds like the Munchkins from the Wizard of Oz.
In 55 cars and all the traffic, you'd have a moment to rest your mind when you're racing around here.
Whenever I change my POV.
No, not at all really.
Yes.
It's quite
Sorry, that's a good question. Oh yeah, because I got to remember to change each one. So if I go back to just me, the volume's different. So they should be pretty much the same now. There we go. Apologies. We're still learning as we go here on these broadcasts. There we go.
Narrow. Obviously, there's a lot of cars on the grid. You've got faster cars coming past. We've got spotters that we rely on a lot. So you've got to stay switched on all the time, really, at a track like this, because there's no room for error at all. So it is quite demanding, especially mentally and physically as well, because of all the bumps.
Good one, Ben. A lot of the time with the drivers, if they have a lot of media training, it can be really difficult to get them to say anything interesting. Now, I know that sounds rude, but it can be tough because they're so media trained. They're so used to saying the same stuff. And I know the joke is that with those like locker room interviews and everything like that, you know, the coaches always say the same thing and the players always say the same thing. Why do they even do these interviews? It's like, well, because we have to. So we try and gauge and form our questions based on the kind of answers that we want, right? So a lot of the time it's like they'll just kind of say the same basic stuff. Like, we're at Sebring. How are the bumps? Oh, it's really bumpy. You know, stuff like that. And that can be a little boring. So like, if you go back and you watch the video that we made in Daytona, that's on the Forward Racing page, like the 7-minute long video, like that's an interesting video because we talked in depth about things outside of the usual stuff, right? You know, Jensen talked about, you know, wanting, like he talked about his childhood and he talked about just so many different things that are so much more interesting. But then I think you also have to remember that one thing I've really grappled with for years is that it's different, right? Like I'm not the target audience. I'm a filmmaker, right? And as much as like I want to make things I want to make, this is a marketing exercise. So we have to make things that the average person would like to view. So the best example I can give you is that like every time there's a race at Spa, there will be so many viral reels people have made that are about like a spa day, right? Like we said we were going for a spa day and then it's like shots of the track because the track is called Spa, right? And I cringe when I see it. I think it's not funny. It's super dumb. Everyone does it every year. It's the lowest dangling fruit you could reach for. It's basically on the ground, but it does numbers. It just does well. And then I started to realize, I'm like, hey, it's not about me. Sometimes just go for the low hanging fruit because that's what's going to do well. And that's honestly like, I would say people can have, well, it's the downfall of content. I saw that Peter McKinnon clip the other day where he said like, you know, he's worked his whole life on his craft to make great stuff. But the thing that does well is the cell phone and raw and no editing and no effects. And that's what people want to see. And it's frustrating for him. I think it's frustrating for any artist. Right. So, but that's just how it is. Like you know how many day to night shots I've done? So many. I made an entire video on how to do it. It's a lot. It gets to be the point where it's like, why are we still doing it? Because it does numbers. It does numbers every time it gets posted. So we have to do it because it's all about numbers. And that's just the game that we're playing now. So you got to ask and deal with the uninteresting questions because a lot of the time, like I talked to Greg about this a lot. So if you do, we'll go back. So if you know about like Greg's Video Garage, obviously his channel's blowing up right now. Very similar content to me, but he takes it to the next level. His stuff is so good. His channel's absolutely exploding. I'm really happy for him. But like, I remember saying to him multiple times, I was like, where we were talking about trying to gain new followers. And he was like, yeah, people clown on me a lot because I've used the same. There was a period, I think in 2023, 2024, where he was uploading like a reel every day. And a lot of the time it would have a lot of the same shots in it. It would have like the Ferris wheel spinning and it would have the, you know, the transition from the car to the tire and all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, I have people clowning on me in my replies being like, you're using the same stuff all the time. He's like, I don't care. I'm trying to attract new people. I don't care if someone that follows me has already seen this. I want to attract new people. So I do the same thing. And if you look at like, even with his thumbnails, we were talking about like, he'll use kind of the exact same style for the thumbnails and the same photos because it's all about attracting new people. The people that already follow you don't care that you've used the same photo for a thumbnail, right? But you're trying to attract new people. So that's kind of a different way of thinking about it. Let's see if we have any more questions. Yeah, Greg Popovich was famous for that. But I will say, I do think the interviews in the middle of the game in the NFL, like the halftime interviews, are pointless. Like, why are we asking the coach, what do you think you need to do in the second half? And it's like, well, we didn't score any points, so score some points would be great. Or we've given up 300 yards of offense in a half, so like maybe stop someone would be good, you know?
And then, how much of this race is survival and how much is hard racing? You have to strike a balance between the two here, more than at other tracks?
Yeah, survival definitely comes into play a bit more here, just because of the nature of the track and its difficulties. So staying out of trouble, like in any race really, certainly for the first you know, six hours here, 7 hours, and then it's about track position, and then you can start to get the elbows out a little bit within reason and the rules, obviously. But yeah, definitely staying out of trouble is the key here, and it's very easy to make contact here. So that's the #1 aim, is to stay out of that.
What's your favorite part about Sebring?
Favorite part about Sebring, I would say for me, the culture outside of the car. So you go to some of the turns, like turn 10, you got the barbecue set up. It's pretty unique.
Ben loves
it's pretty
the
awesome
fans of Sebring.
They kind of always put out the group. So mention the culture.
Yeah, I think like just the culture you see outside the car. You go around the turns, there's lots of barbecues happening. You can smell it in the car as well. So that's pretty, I would say that's pretty unique. And obviously the bumps, you know,
It's a little bit blown
is
out
a really
audio-wise,
cool
a little
corner,
bit too loud.
Quite demanding.
We'll make it work.
So yeah, it is a unique place. So I love being here.
Of course, there's practice happening while they're shooting these interviews.
Racing in the sunset is difficult here, particularly after turn 7, the hairpin. It's in your mirrors, so you can't actually see traffic coming past you. So that's really difficult, and that's where you really rely on the spotter when you've got that sun glaring at you, because yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to see. So having that spotter in the ear is a big help.
All right, perfect. So we've cut his up, and then we got Jensen Altman, my boy Jensen. I love Jensen Altman. He's a real one. Jensen's awesome. So no color grading. The color before they send it to you. Yeah. So on these clips, Jared, he just out of habit, he just dropped Rec 709 on it, and I told him, hey, for the future ones, don't color them. This is fine. I'll work around it. It's just like for the future ones, like I'll do the color at the end. Like so, but yeah. For this one, for whatever reason, he just dropped it on. I think it's just force of habit. So when we melt down footage for a client to give them raw, we always put Rec 709 on it. Always. Because like I have seen ungraded log get posted. So we always put Rec 709 on it now. I should also say really quickly before we move on that I'm contractually obligated to remind you that I own a Leica. This is my Leica that I own. So yeah, I have to tell you as a Leica owner at least once a week that I own this. I post a photo of it online. So yeah, here we are. It's my Leica that I own. It's pretty dope. It's a Q2. Yeah, and it automatically means I'm better than you, obviously, right? That's why you buy a Leica, so you can be better than everyone else. That's a joke, by the way. Okay, let's move on to Jensen Altman's interview. So the sad thing with Jensen is that back in that piece that we did at Daytona, he was one of the main featured people, and he'd never done the Rolex 24 before, and he was so excited to do it, and the car was crashed before he got to drive. So he didn't get to drive in the race. So he's still never driven in the Rolex 24. Which is really sad. So I love Jensen to bits. He's an amazing guy. All right.
Bumpy, right? Everyone goes there, but I think like the track has a lot of character outside the bumps. I think it's really cool that this used to be a naval base, right, during World War II. So for us to be driving, you know, Mustangs down where maybe some Mustangs were being landed back in the day, I think is pretty cool. I love this track a lot. It's my favorite because it's the closest you can get to a permanent street course. Right, so yes, you have.
He said naval base. It was an Army Air Force base, so I'll have to edit around
bumps,
that.
But you also have a lot of surface changes. You know, there's walls in places you maybe wouldn't want walls. So yeah, I just think this place has a lot of character, and it's you know, people say that the 12-hour race here is more demanding than a 24 at other places, and I think that's certainly the case.
And that's the classic kind of statement that you want for a video with Sebring, where the classic thing people say is that it is. A 12-hour at Sebring is harder than a 24-hour anywhere else in the world. Like they used to say, like you would take your car to the 12 hours of Sebring to get it proven and tested for Le Mans, right? They used to use it as a proving grounds. Like if you can survive 12 there, then you can do 24 at Le Mans, no problem.
Right. How would you describe like the atmosphere? I guess
You can't really describe the atmosphere at Sebring, especially for the fans back in Green Park, right? So the other half of the track, kind of away from the paddock. This is my first year racing the 12-hour, but every year before this, I've been a fan during the 12-hour. And going back in the green park and seeing all the fans, it's crazy. You know, they're lighting couches on fires. They're taking golf carts. They, you know, it's
Probably not gonna be able to include that. Ford's legal team probably won't like them saying fans light couches on fire.
it's madness. It's truly madness.
I've been out there. They're already up to shenanigans.
It's so
But I can use that.
much fun, actually. It's
Really?
so freaking cool. You have to take him, dude. He's gonna shit his pants. Oh, you came here for the race? Oh, okay.
Well, I didn't see the dildo racing.
Oh, dude, it's insane.
Did you see they have that set up?
Yeah.
You know,
We'll just cut
I
ahead.
think he was already out there.
Yeah.
So, but I highly
There's a
consider
lot
it.
of so Sebring back in the day used to be a lot worse. Like it was like pre-COVID Green Park. Like I would tell like we would tell like girls that were at the race like do not go into Green Park by yourself. Like it's not safe. Like it was pretty wild, and there was some pretty like debaucherous imagery that people would put up and stuff. And then the track kind of would go eventually, like when they came back after COVID, was like, hey guys, you can't put signs like this up. You can't, you know, like it's not okay. So they had to really scale it back. So it's definitely a lot more chill now. It's still like crazy, but it's not like it was back in the day. Sorry, out of habit there, I started playing at double speed. So I actually do that quite a bit. So like if you hit the L key, it'll start playing. If you hit L again, double speed. But we'll go back and listen to it in regular speed. But that's how I save time when I'm editing.
Races, right? Because it's truly just a party on the other side. So I think it's cool that
Apologies, I just realized we were on the wrong channel there, so you couldn't see what I was talking about. Okay, yes, I understand. You don't need to do all caps and everything, okay? Like, I'm still learning how to do this, so please calm down. I'm also trying to do the stream and, like, I'm trying to control the stream and look at the chat and edit a video all at the same time for free on the internet. So please chill.
as everyone kind of refers to it as the Burning Man of IMSA races, right? Because it's truly just a party on the other side. So I think it's cool that they all get to kind of come out and they get to treat it as like a, a vacation for them, pretty crazy vacation. But I think it brings out a lot of people because they just like, they like the environment.
And then it's your first 12 hours of scenery. What are you expecting?
Chaos. Yeah, I think it's going to be, a lot about just staying
We'll go back there.
the style that this race has. Everyone kind of refers to it as the Burning Man of IMSA races, right? Because it's truly just a party on the other side. So I think it's cool that they all get to kind of come out and they get to treat it as like a vacation for them, pretty crazy vacation. But I think it brings out a lot of people because they just like, they like the environment.
Yeah, so Sebring's basically a huge party. That's kind of what people joke about. Like, it's a party where a race broke out. And if you're not familiar with Burning Man, you can Google it. It's just like a weird like festival out in the desert.
And then it's your first 12 hours of scenery. What are you expecting?
There's that double
Chaos.
speed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot about just staying out of trouble. The track's all
So I do the double speed a lot. Just speeds me up when I'm editing.
is not great up until the last 2 hours of the race when the sun starts to go down. So it'll just be about keeping our nose clean, seeing what we maybe want to change in the car throughout the run to really make it good for us at the end, because that's when it's really going to start to count. So making sure that all the body parts are still on the car in their intended position, not done up with tape or anything, so that we're in a good spot to battle at the end.
Do you have a run plan here? Like, are you?
Yeah, I'll be driving some portion of the middle. I
Okay.
probably won't be finishing the race. That'll most likely be Felipe's job.
So what does that make your job? Your job in this race is?
Conserve. Yeah, I'm the protector. Take care of the car, take care of the tires, make sure that when Felipe will probably drive at some point during the middle of the race and I'll get back in, but I'll be the one to hand it off to Felipe for his final stint. And I want to do everything I can in my power to give him the race car exactly as you see it here, so that he has every chance to fight for whatever he needs to.
And that's a great bit talking about the drivers sharing a car and working together rather than, it's much, much better than the usual stuff that we get. Do I double speed it for race footage too? Yes, sometimes, but mostly it's just like when I'm doing audio. So for race footage, I'll just like scrub clips basically. I can kind of give you an example of that. If we go interviews, so basically like in the bin down here on the left-hand side, what I'll do is I'll just scrub the clip like this. If it's race footage, I can actually let me just give you an example. Let's get some Rolex 24 footage. So let me get here, WeatherTech qualifying from Daytona. We'll import this and then I'll give you an example of kind of how I do that. All right, perfect. So basically I open this up in here. We've got all the clips, and what I'll do is I'll just scrub over them with my cursor. And it's like, all right, cool. That looks like that. That looks like that. Okay, there's Kevin Magnussen, right? I don't actually have to play the clip. If I'm just looking at race footage, I can just scrub it and be like, okay, cool, car comes in. Then if I think it's good, I can go bang, hit in and out points and drop them. I cover this whole thing in that Paddock Focus workshop. So that's how I do that, to quickly go through footage, because like a lot of it is just trying to save as much time as possible. That's the biggest thing, is like, because you might think, oh, it's only a few seconds, but like a few seconds over and over and over again over the course of several weekends, it's a lot of time saved. So it could be the difference between an extra 15 minutes of sleep every day, which is a big deal when we work these long events, right? So.
And then what do you think the keys are to ending up on the podium here?
Yeah. Staying clean. I think this is a track where the term, I like to use, be quick, but don't hurry, right? We want to be quick on the pit lane, but we can't hurry and rush anything. We want to be quick on track. We don't want to waste time behind any people if we're needing to get by. But we also don't want to rush anything on track. So I think it's about, making sure you're not just sitting idle, because you can, very quickly kind of get taken advantage of if you do that. It's not a 24-hour race, right? It's a little bit shorter. It's half. So that's half. Of course it's fucking half.
Of course it's half.
Right, so like the race is a little bit shorter than Daytona. So you still have to have the endurance mindset, but we're just kind of always trying to have that a little bit more sense of urgency.
Perfect. Okay, so we have all of our clips now. Now you see, like, if we laid these all back to back to back, we're looking at like 6.5 minutes almost, or 6 minutes of footage. I'm obviously not going to use all of this, right? So I'm going to now go through it, cut it down into a narrative that makes sense, and then we'll also leave time at the end for post-race interviews, but this will all kind of get worked into an edit. I'll work it around the music. And that's basically how this process is going to work in terms of the remote editing. So there's not really, at this point, much more I can show you, because I don't have enough stuff yet. They've only had one practice. So do you love filming as much as the editing? I prefer filming. Filming is easy. Just go to the track and film cars. It's awesome. But the editing is cool because you get to build a narrative. When I get to do the kind of edits that I want to do, like long form pieces like we did in Daytona, I get to tell stories and I get to build narratives, and that's really interesting. It's way more interesting than just making like short social stuff, right? So it's cool. I do enjoy the editing. It is pretty awesome as well. What else we got? How long are clips usually when you're out on track? Is it just one or two cars going by, or filming for minutes at a time? No, I try and not film for minutes at a time. I try to like film basically, yeah, one, like a car coming by. If it's my car, film it, let the audio run for a second, and then stop. I want short clips. I've had to tell Brent that so many times. Like, Brent, stop running the camera for like 5 minutes at a time in slow-mo. Like, it's so much work for me then afterwards to look through. So just like keep it nice and short. So then he was keeping it too short. So I had to be like, all right, you have to let the audio, I need to hear the car go by, so then we had to kind of work on it. But yeah, I try and keep them as short as I can, just to keep the editing process as quick as possible. Sorry, I missed Sean, your thing. How do you edit around audio like that? Do you cut the problem words out? Yeah, you cut the problem words out or just kind of build it out. You can use a visual cue as well. So he says like, you know, we're now driving Mustangs where they used to like land Mustangs. Maybe you show like a shot of the airport, or if you have a bit of historical footage or something, you can work that out. Then you do a better exposition thing where you show rather than tell the audience. You show them that it used to be an Air Force base or an Army Air Force base, rather than tell them, which is always like the first rule of exposition is that you show, don't tell, right? But nowadays, because everybody's on their phone, everybody's scrolling, apparently Netflix is telling writers to start having the characters describe what they're doing multiple times because no one's looking at the screen. I caught myself doing that yesterday. I watched the first episode of Jet Lag the Game, the new season, the Taiwan like rail rush, whatever it's called. And I missed like the second half of the episode because I was looking at my phone. And I was like, man, I gotta stop using my phone while I'm watching stuff because like I completely missed half the episode. So I'll probably rewatch it tonight. But I've also, I've just completely cut certain words out of sentences sometimes. Like I cut a lot of ums out. A lot of ums get cut out. Ben Barker famously has a lot of ums cut. I love Ben, but I do cut a lot of ums out. How do you keep the camera running to get the audio once the car is out of sight? Just until you can't hear the car anymore, basically. Just so I have like the flyby, right? Because I don't want to like cut right when it goes by. Because a lot of the time, the way sound works, I talked about this in the paddock focus thing. Like the way sound works, the sound often comes like you often the sound hits your ear slightly after the vision hits your eye, if that makes sense, at least with the camera. So you kind of have to play around with it because sometimes like when you're editing a video, the car comes by and then you don't really hear the hardest part of the engine sound until after the car's already passed. And it's like, well, visually we want to move on to the next shot, but orally we can't because we haven't heard it yet. Hourly we can't. A-U-R-A-L. I actually won a spelling bee when I was a kid in the 3rd grade because I spelled heifer. I was the only person who knew how to spell heifer. So what I'll do is actually just adjust the audio by frames to like back it up, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's in the paddock focus workshop. I went in depth on it. How many revisions do you usually give clients? Depends on the project. So stuff like this, like we don't really have revision limits on because we're on like a good budget with Ford to do this video. And if they want things changed, we're fortunate in the way that they never really want a lot changed outside of like, oh, legal said this isn't okay. Or, oh, can you change, we had a few things at the Bathurst video where we had to go back and forth. They're like, hey guys, like the side of the track says Toyota and there's a Ford. So like, can we do something about that? So we had to kind of work through that, which sometimes is difficult to avoid conflicting sponsors. Like the Detroit IMSA race, there is Chevy and General Motors branding everywhere. It cannot be avoided. So you just kind of have to deal with it. But I'm never going to like put Jensen next to a Toyota logo for his interview, right? That would be like, hey guys, can you crop this out? It is avoidable. So that makes sense. But legal, sometimes like they're very adverse to like anything, or like sometimes legal teams really don't like any sort of like what they would call an unsubstantiated claim. Even something as simple as like a driver saying this is the best car. They're like, you can't have them say that. Like, and it's their opinion, but like they're representing the brand, things like that sometimes will come up. That's an extreme example that I just made up, but like that could be something. But when it comes to like bigger projects, like where we're hired by an agency to do a shoot and all this, it's usually 3 rounds of revisions I'll give. 3 rounds. And the only reason for that, you might say, well, why? They're paying lots of money. The reason for 3 rounds of revisions is because it forces them to consolidate their feedback, right? So it's not like I send it to the person, the project manager, and then they give me their feedback. I do that feedback. And they're like, oh, I actually showed it to my boss and now they want to make all of these changes. And some of them are like different than what the other person wanted, reverting back. So it's just to consolidate your feed. It forces them to consolidate. It also forces them to make up their mind, because if you say it's 3 rounds of revisions, hey guys, this is the final revision that you have. Anything beyond this is like X amount of dollars per hour. And 5 minutes is an hour, minimum 1 hour to work. So if I have to do another export, I'm charging you for an hour. That's the way it works. And you don't have to feel bad about that. Any other business on earth would do that. Like even when I license footage for commercials and things like that, I charge an administrative fee. I charge the money to pull the footage and send it to them. It's my time. I need to be remunerated for that. Any other business would charge me, right? So why don't I charge people? So I'm going to charge people as well. So it's just when you get to the third revision and after then it's hourly, they make up their mind real quick. When you give unlimited revisions, they're going to send it back over and over and over and over and over again. So you got to limit it. Other than that, it's been about an hour. Feeling pretty good about this live. Sorry, a few technical glitches there. So we'll get those all figured out. It's just me. I'm trying to run the stream off this laptop, show you my screen, do an edit while showing you the edit, and look at the chat. So it is a lot to do all at once. So trying to get everything done. I'm going to continue with these weekly, probably do another one maybe next Tuesday, next Wednesday, it depends. I haven't decided yet. New video drops tomorrow. I have a new video on the channel. It is a vlog at the Supercars in Australia. The Supercars test day at City Motorsport Park. So very new thing to the channel. I've never had Supercars on the channel before. So you're not going to want to miss it. It is an awesome vlog. It was a lot of fun to shoot Supercars. It does just cover the test day. Just due to their media rights rules, I can't vlog the race weekend. So, but I did the test day, which was rights free, and it was a lot of fun. It was a blast. So also, if you want to watch it right now, just join the channel as a member. It's $1.99 a month, and you can watch that video right now. Channel members, thank you as well for being here. And they get videos 3, 4, sometimes 5, sometimes a week early, sometimes a day early, depending when I get them done, but they always get videos early. And I do have a few members only videos. I'm planning to do more in the future. So if you want to watch those videos early, just join the channel. It's $1.99 in your local currency. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Really do appreciate it. Again, hopefully there's a lot better quality. Audio's better, video's better. The first one was a learning thing. So yeah, looking forward to next week's live stream already. And if you haven't already, before you leave, please like the live stream. And please, if you're watching one of my videos, all I ask in return is you just leave a like, leave a comment. Even if it's just Mark, I love this video, or Mark, you are stupid and I hated this video. It all helps the algorithm and helps the channel reach more people. So yeah, thanks so much for joining, folks. And we'll see you in the next one. Yes, I do need to quickly edit this and cut out the part where he swears.